Hello the internet. It is Monday the 16th of September 2024 and welcome back to the channel. And welcome back to Alice Springs of a morning, where the Pine View Hotel caravan park has packed out a little more. Notably, the Swiss travelers that are following us by the look of it, following me by the look of it. It's just a bit of a running gag for the last, I think, 4 days or 3 days. These guys have been just coincidentally at the same places we've been at. Back in the good old days, Marty would talk to them, and I just saw them last night. Oh, here we are again. But yeah, Marty had a good old chat to them a few times. I wonder if they're going to go where I'm going today, which is I'm going to take the stream to the stream wants to go to the Pine Gap observation center, the Pine Gap facility. You can only get up so far to the signpost, so I'm going to take them there. I'm going to go and get this awning fixed here, this awning piece, at least get it on my possession and see if I can use a tool there to fix it, or just get it with me and then continue on the journey eastward. I'm heading east. It'll be a round trip because it's you can't just keep going from east. Be interesting to try to do that though all the way through, but no, I'm coming East MacDonnell Ranges and then back through Alice and then north to Tennant Creek. But today it'll be Tropina Gorge. Going to be exciting. Had a terrible night's sleep last night trying to think through this Marty situation, and I went from a couple of different phases of resolution to then got quite angry when I was thinking about it. In the initial planning phase of this trip, we were talking about an 8-week mission. Now that was obviously based upon Marty quitting his job and being in between a new job with his UX design, but he didn't do that, which I understand, I'm not angry about that. But then it was like, okay, well, what's the maximum time we got? We've got 5 weeks, 5 weeks annual leave. Okay, cool. But he bailed at the beginning of the 3rd week, and he was saying things like, even if it wasn't for the argument, I've got to get back home and do things before work. I'm like, but 3 weeks out of 5? So you left me here on the 3rd week, which I think is, I might not think this later, but last night when I was angry, I thought that was lame. Like I said last night, the further I move away from here and from this situation, the better I'll feel. I'm just trying to be as honest as possible. He also left me with this half-done haircut, which is also lame. For those wondering how gnarly Alice Springs gets, there was a car parked up in front of here last night with some youths having a good time, and that lasted about 20 minutes, and just some empty beer cans. That's it. I don't know what time it was, but I woke up to just hearing some laughter and yelling and dog barking, and then that's it. Went back to sleep. And so if that's how gnarly it gets, ooh, spooky. Got a little signpost here on the way out to the Tropina Gorge, and it said Emily's Gap. And I recalled we had Ellery's Big Hole. Now comes Emily's Gap. Well, there's a water hole. Impressive. I don't think we can get past there. Let's see. Yeah, we can't pass here unless this winds around. Nope. That's it. Yeah. I mean, if there was less water, you could apparently walk around there. Pretty impressive towering walls. And here's another gap. Jesse's Gap, as we would have said if Marty was still here on this trip. Jesse! That's impressive. This bit reminds me of Red Bank Gorge. Wow, there's no water here. So this would normally be filled with water. It's impressive. Rocks just jutting out like that. Crazy. Well, that's pretty much what you've got here. I'm in it. I'm all over it, Jesse. There is some hand paintings on the walls here, but no photography. And I can show you the sign that tells you that there's hand paintings. I'll tell you what, I'll make a descriptive description of what they are, so that then you can at least hear me talk about what these are. So clearly says no photography. So I'm going to get as close to the sign as possible, and then I'll point the camera away from the thing, and then I'll go in and I'll yell at you what it is. I'll yell it back to you. As lame as that sounds, that's what I'm trying to honor the rules here. No photography. So this is pointing away from the thing. I'll go over there. You'll hear my name. You hear my voice in the distance. Okay, I'm getting closer. Looks like very hard to see. Okay, there's some scratching. There's some lines about a meter high. It's got like colored lines from the top to the bottom. They're dark red and yellow and white. Think like pinstripe pants, but thicker. If that's one of them, then the other one on this side doesn't really look like anything. I don't see a hand. I don't see handprints anywhere. It didn't really miss too much. Yeah, all it was like a wall of colored lines and maybe some kind of scratching on top, like even higher up in a separate spot, but I couldn't tell if that could have just been the quartz in the rock or something. The formations are nice though. Trees are nice. Jesse's got a good gap. In honor of Marty, I'm going to make the lunch snack that he was pretty damn good at making. Ricotta cheese. We're going to add some sardines. Then we're going to cracker it up. We're going to call this the Fallen, in honor of the Fallen. Hey, I'm doing this because it's my way. Oh, there's rubbish over there. That's the cashews that I bought flying everywhere. Yeah, this is my way of getting over it. Making jokes, right? Giggles. Tupperware from his girlfriend that I don't think he knows he left. Because I did ask him, I said, is that a gift to the van? He said, no, that's Sally's. And it's got to come back. And so I was like, oh, okay. But he left it. So what am I supposed to do? But use it. Tomato and basil tuna. You know who that is? You know who just drove past? The Swiss. I swear they're following me. Ooh, good crackers. Ooh, good crackers. Vita wheat multigrain. Ooh, pretty good. So you know how you can't burn firewood can't collect firewood in the national park, and there's always a border where you're allowed to collect before but not after? I just stopped and picked up all this wood that's going to go up there. And I just thought I'd show you this. Just how amazing this looks from here. I was just saying that the West MacDonnell Ranges don't seem as impressive as, the East, the East don't seem as impressive as the West, but then you come out here, look at this thing over here. It's like it's from another planet. Where are we? Govan, where are we? I will say this, getting wood onto the top of Govan was a much more enjoyable task when there were two of us, when Marty was here. That's what I've managed to accumulate. It's got a bit of an overhang going on. It's good solid wood for a fire tonight though. But yeah, wasn't much fun doing. It wasn't much fun at all. There is a almighty ghost gum tree. Look at that. White trunk, ghost gum, starkly contrasting to the red soil. Not that red, but you know what I'm saying. That's me with one arm around it, hardly even stretching the girth. It's a girth. And it's extremely white against the blue skies. Look at that, beautiful, right? Like my dirty hand in this blue sky and the white bark of this ghost gum. On a moonlit night, that would look frighteningly beautiful. You got this black from the burnt out fires. You got the green undergrowth, the black soil, so the red soil's burnt. Got this escarpment up behind it that just goes, I'm up there too, don't forget me. Pretty impressive, hey? Just cruising along here and I see that, I'm like, what? Then have a look at this as you just cruise along. What? And I was just saying on the stream that it's more impressive because it's not part of a wall of rock, it's just its own, it's its own piece amongst other sort of areas. If that was all joined in, it wouldn't be as impressive. That's my take on it anyway. And of course I'm right. Well, here we are, folks, not at Trafina Gorge. I was there. You wouldn't see it because I didn't shoot anything. I did go for a quick, what I thought was going to be a quick stroll. My intention was to camp there, but I was going to go and check the gorge out. And it was just sand, like no water, just like what you'd imagine, a gorge with the steep rocky edges and just sandy river basin. And it just went, and I kept walking along the river basin trying to find where the water was. Like maybe it goes around a bend and it's up there in a hole. Kept going. No water. So then I ended up getting to the end of this loop track, which I ended up walking back around along the ridge top back to where I started. And it took about an hour and a half. Saw a snarkin though. First time we've seen a real live snarkin, or first time I've seen one on this trip. It looked like a shoelace, like a white and black shoelace. About as thick as your pinky. But a short snarkin, only about 1.5 feet long. Just sitting on the path and I was like, oh, someone lost their shoelace. And I went down to not to grab it, but just to go closer. And then it swiveled and I was like, ah, it's a snake. Anyway, here we are. This is the campsite for tonight. Just a little ways out from the Trafina Gorge kind of access road. Found this road turning off the main road. I guess Alice Springs is like 70 kilometers that way. The main road's kind of over there. And there was this dirt road that went off into that kind of gully area and it had private property. But then off that chute, there was another road that came down to what looks like someone's already had campfires here beside the river's edge here. So I'm setting up. I got to start getting into the habit of saying me. I'm setting up here. It's just me tonight. It's just me now for a while. And the chat, of course. Stormy weather above us. There's a little rain this morning in the old Alice. We could get rained on. I got fire. I got shelter. Okay, this doesn't work when it's windy. I just gave myself a little pedicure. That's the foot one, right? Pedicure. We are going to see an epic sunset. Nice. This is sensational. Doesn't get much better than this, does it? I mean, it does. It has gotten better than this on these streams. But this is also pretty damn good. So there we have it, folks. The second day alone on this mission. It's ended quite nicely here in Hart. There's food cooking. There's great company in the chat. And we've decided, Shyla, Hendrik and I have decided that instead of me doing what I was kind of roughly planning to do, which was kind of not go to Brisbane, but instead to hug the Great Dividing Range back south, we're actually going to go to Brisbane and we're all going to convene. It's a bit windy here. We're all going to convene in Hendrik's place. Charlotte's going to fly up. Hendrik lives there. He's got spare room, spare bed. We're going to have a great time in Brisbane. That's going to be 2 weeks from now. That wasn't my plan. And my plan was to not go coastal. But hey, man, Marty pulled the pin and left. So I can change things too, can't I? I'm even going to contact Duncan. Duncan might hang out with us. He's in Brisbane. Maybe tattoo. I doubt it. But so yeah, there's been a positive kind of extra vibe to this situation, because I told you about my moods and my feelings and my vibes. Actually, tomorrow's going to be an absolute shocker. Tomorrow's going to be shit, man. I'm going to drive back to Alice and then I'm going to head north and there's nothing to see. In fact, tomorrow is going to be like a gravel pit truck stop kind of thing, but I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to pretend it's really cool. It's probably going to be really lame. You should come with me. In fact, if you're watching this content, I know you will, like, share and subscribe. You should do it. Do I have to tell you every freaking time? In fact, I'm going to get you to get a mate to do it. No. You just do it. You like, you share, you subscribe if you like the content. And I'll see you yahoos on the next upload of this series of complete madness.